Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm helping you level up your communication skills. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing the psychology of human behavior. In the world of theory, we're often learning about psychology and human behavior separately. In the world of practice, these two separate worlds merge together. Example, let's say you're into business, more specifically a consulting business. In this consulting business, what is the behavior that you're trying to get out of your lead? Well, I want this person to say, yes, I want your service. And then they give me the money. And with this money, I spend it on Outback Steakhouse. All right, not so fast. You want the sale. That's the behavior. The question is, what leads to that behavior? If you're a consultant, more often than not, you got a strategy call or a discovery call where you assess the needs of this individual to see how you can provide value, and then you plug your service to meet the needs of that value. All this stuff right here was psychology. And if you correctly assess the psychology, you alter the behavior. Therefore, in the real world of practice, psychology and human behavior are joined. For us to understand this though, I'm going to give a story. The story initially may seem comical. You're going to be having some good laughs. But the more that the story progresses, the more that you're going to understand how the power of narrative in regards to someone's psychology can alter their behaviors. And if you digest this story, you're going to understand the next time you're giving a speech, why others are laughing when you're saying certain points, certain jokes. You're going to understand why certain politicians say narratives to get a reaction or behavior out of another group. And who knows, you may also bump up your sales in your consulting business. So if you're ready and excited for today's episode, be sure to drop that like for me right on below. All right, so this was in 11th grade, and this was when my bus driver would drop me off at the stop. And the stop that he would drop me off at was right across a McDonald's. Normally, I would wait at that McDonald's until my dad got out of his meetings. He would pick me up and drive me home. So when I was waiting in the McDonald's, your boy was bored. I didn't have much to do. Well, one day, I noticed that there was a customer who ordered a McDouble, and the cashier was like, that'll be $1.07. When she said it would be $1.07, I had this aha moment, because my cafeteria food at lunch at school was also $1.07. But the cafeteria food at lunch was disgusting. I hated that food. So I thought, why not skip out on lunch at school and save my money to get a McDouble as well? And that's exactly what I did. The next day, I ordered a McDouble, add mayo, and I gave the lady my $1.07. And I did it again the next day and again the next day. Well, soon enough, the lady who consistently kept taking my order, she was roughly in her mid-40s, had braids, was a little heavy, and had a sweet face. She was like, hey, little boy, you're always coming to this McDonald's at the same time, ordering the same exact thing. What gives? And I told her exactly what I was doing, how I was skipping lunch at school and saving my money to get the McDouble. Then she asks me, what else do you like? Now, what else would you like from this menu? I thought she was teasing me, but I was like, I also like French fries. When she heard that, she was like, wait. Then she goes to the French fries area, gets the big, large fries box, and starts to pour a bunch of fries into it. Then she heads back my way and puts the box in my bag. And she's like, here you go, don't mention it. And I whisper back, really? Thank you, I appreciate it. And I went away and I ate the food. I felt amazed that she would just give me free fries like that. Well, the next day, she did it again. I ordered my McDouble, and this time, she just, muscle memory-wise, went to get some fries, put in my bag. She was like, don't mention it. The next day, she did it again. And the next day, she did it again. Soon enough, she just kept giving me a whole bunch of fries. This isn't healthy, I understand, but 11th grade version of me, I didn't care. Well, as this went on for a few weeks, one week I noticed that she's not there. She was not at McDonald's, and I was like, all right, this was a good run while it lasted, all good. Well, the next week, when she comes back, she asks me, hey, did you get your fries last week? And I tell her, no, I didn't. She's like, you didn't tell any of my coworkers that I normally give you French fries? I was like, no, if I told your coworkers, I thought you would get in trouble. She's like, so you didn't get your French fries? You must have been so hungry. And she was getting extremely emotional. I was like, no, I wasn't that hungry. I mean, a McDouble is plenty. But you could tell that she was extremely emotional. She's like, look, I'm gonna be here for the rest of the year, okay? You're going to get your French fries. Don't mention it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I was a little spooked out. Because earlier, when she was giving me the French fries, I wasn't questioning it too much. I was just happy. I was like, all right, well, she's hooking me up. But at this moment, I finally had the question, why is she keep giving me free French fries for? And she's giving it strictly to me. Why? So I asked her, I was like, why do you keep giving me free French fries for? And then she starts going in her pocket, right? And she pulls out a picture. Mind you, she didn't pull out this picture from her purse or a wallet. She literally had a pocket strictly reserved for this picture, which implied that this picture was extremely important to her. Just imagine that you have your wallet in one pocket, your cell phone, your keys in another pocket, and you have a picture of your dog. Most people will assume that your dog's picture means a lot to you. Well, she pulls out a picture, she smiles, and she gives it to me. She was like, this was my son. Look at him. He looks just like you. And I look at the picture, I'm like, whoa, he really does look just like me. In the 11th grade, I was 6 foot tall, 135 pounds, so extremely skinny, and I had very, very long hair. The boy in the picture was tall, skinny, and he had braids, pretty long braids. But what was extremely spooky about this picture was that the shirt he was wearing, it was a blue shirt with a collar and it was stripes. Why was that spooky? It's because I had the same exact shirt, but green. As I'm like going through the picture and looking at how similar we look, I realized she said, this was my son. She didn't say, this is my son. She said was. So I look at her, and I'm like, this was your son? She's like, yeah, this was my son before he was killed. You look just like him. And you see the shirt he's wearing in the picture? The first time I saw you, you were wearing the green version of the shirt. And my son also loved mayonnaise on his McDouble. Don't you see? My son is speaking to me through you. His spirit is speaking to me. I'm in the 11th grade, and at this point, I'm really spooked out. I'm like, does she really believe in this? I was like, no way. But yeah, she did believe it. And from her paradigm, she saw a whole bunch of evidence from her paradigm. So notice what happened. It's simply because I reminded her a lot of her son, it completely influenced her behavior to start subconsciously feeding me as I was her son. Now, just imagine that you're a business owner. Immediately, let's say you're her manager. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, are you giving free fries to other people? I should fire you. But wait, I can't because I'm low on talent right now. Now you want to discipline this lady because you are judging her by her behavior. Why are you giving free fries away? Why? Why are you doing this? The last thing that will be on a lot of people's mind is, why is she doing this? And if you tell the business owner that she's doing it because she sees her dead son's spirit in another boy, this would not compute to the logical mind. This would not compute. It'll just be like, no, seriously, what's the correct answer? But in this situation, that is the correct answer. By understanding her psychology regarding her son, we're able to further understand why her behavior was altered in giving me the free French fries. The ultimate lesson that we got to understand that someone's psychology does not always make sense. More often than not, it doesn't make sense. And different parts of the world have different phrases for it. One part of the world call it programs. Like this is a subconscious program that runs. Other parts of the world call it subconscious tracks. I just like to call it the story. It's the story that influences someone's behavior. In this case, it was the story of this woman's son that was impacting her behavior. Whether she was consciously aware of it or not, doesn't matter. At the subconscious level, we process life through stories. So that's what we need to understand. Whether it's for a consulting practice, sure, the behavior that we want seems pretty logical, where the person gives the money. But to get that money, we have to keep tracing it back to the original cause, where we are in their subconscious mind. And we have to understand the story. And to understand someone's story, we have to, surprisingly, ditch logic for a small period of time. Because although logic helps tremendously in the world of space, time, and causation, too much logic will hinder our ability to understand the story, the psychology of someone's mind. Okay? So this is a story that you want to review a few times just to understand how it was that this lady was just giving me free French fries. And even though it doesn't make sense, understand that it did have tangible effects, which were the fries. I know because I ate a whole bunch of them. That's what I wanted to talk about in today's episode. The world of behavior is something that we often get drawn to first, but we have to prime our mind to see the story that someone else is operating with, especially when we are dealing with humans on a one-on-one level. That's when the story that they are telling themselves, the program that is running in their subconscious mind, mean much, much more. Understand that, and soon you'll be able to influence the output, aka the behavior as well. Thank you for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.